1. The city of New Haven was a place hidden in the shadows, where the ordinary people lived their everyday lives, unaware of the extraordinary that lurked beneath the surface. Among them was a young man named Guy, who had always felt out of place, as if there was something beyond the mundane that called to him. It wasn't until his 16th birthday when everything changed. His parents had gone away for the weekend, leaving him alone in their modest apartment. The air was thick with anticipation as Guy sat on his bed, nervously fidgeting with his hands. The clock struck midnight, and with each tick his heartbeat grew louder in his chest. Suddenly the room was illuminated with a bright, otherworldly light, and a sensation of immense power coursed through his veins. When the light subsided, Guy found himself sitting in the same spot, but the room was different. The walls seemed to pulse with a life of their own, and there, in the centre of the room, stood a figure that could only be described as demonic. Its wings were spread wide, and its eyes were a burning crimson. It spoke to Guy in a voice that seemed to resonate with the very core of his being. "You have been chosen, Guy. You possess powers that are not of this world, and now they are yours to command." The room spun, and Guy felt a surge of energy, and when it settled, he found himself on his bed with no memory of the night before. Days turned into weeks, and Guy couldn't shake the feeling that something had indeed changed within him. He had always been a bit of an outsider, never quite fitting in with his peers, but now there was a newfound confidence, a sense of power that he couldn't deny. He found himself drawn to darker corners, where he could observe the world around him with a newfound clarity. It was during one such late night wander that he stumbled upon an alleyway dimly lit by the glow of the moon. It was there that he felt the call again, a whisper in the wind that beckoned him to reveal his newfound powers. As he walked through the alley, a feeling of mischief took hold of him. He couldn't resist the urge to test his newfound abilities. With a thought, the shadows around him seemed to come alive, twisting and turning into shapes that danced at his command. It was exhilarating, and Guy couldn't help but smile at the sense of control he had over these dark forces. He played with the shadows, creating illusions that made onlookers double, take. It was intoxicating, and he felt a thrill at the thought of what else he could do. Little did he know that this was just the beginning of a journey that would change everything. Page 2. As the weeks turned into months, Guy's powers grew with each passing day. He found himself drawn to the darkest corners of the city, where the shadows were thickest and the night was deepest. He revelled in the anonymity that the night provided, using his powers to help those in need without anyone ever knowing it was him. He became known on the streets as a mysterious figure who seemed to appear out of nowhere, his presence felt but never seen. His acts of kindness became the stuff of legend among the city's downtrodden, and whispers of a guardian angel began to circulate among the more desperate parts of New Haven. During the day, Guy tried to maintain a semblance of normalcy. He attended school, went to work at the local diner, and interacted with his friends and family, but there was always a part of him that felt detached, as if he was playing a role that didn't truly fit. His parents started to notice a change in his behavior, and though they were worried, there was an undeniable pride in their eyes when they saw the new confidence with which he carried himself. They chalked it up to the teenage years and his growing independence. Little did they know that their son was walking a path that would lead him to the unknown. One evening, as Guy was walking home from work, he felt the pull of something much darker than before. It was a call that resonated with a sinister intent, and for the first time he felt fear. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was following him, and as he turned down a dark alleyway, the shadows seemed to move in sync with his every step. It was then that he realized the extent of his powers had been tested, and he had barely held his own. He knew that he had to find out more about the source of his abilities, to understand the true nature of the darkness within him. Guy decided to delve into the city's history, searching for any clues that might explain the origin of his powers. He discovered stories of ancient rituals and pacts that had taken place in New Haven long ago. There were tales of people who had sold their souls to dark entities in exchange for power, only to lose themselves in the process. Guy became obsessed with uncovering the truth, spending hours in the dimly lit archives, piecing together the puzzle of his heritage. It was during one of these late-night sessions that he stumbled upon an old journal, the pages yellowed with age, containing entries that spoke of a being known as Azazel, a fallen angel cursed for his rebellion against the heavens. The journal spoke of a pact made between Azazel and a mortal, a pact that had been broken centuries ago, but the remnants of which still lingered within the city. 3. With each passing day, Guy's research led him to a deeper understanding of his powers. He learned that his abilities were tied to a bloodline that had been cursed generations ago, a lineage that had been shrouded in secrecy. The journal spoke of a ritual that had been performed to bind Azazel's powers, but it had never been fully completed. This incomplete ritual was what had been passed down through the generations, a power that had lain dormant until Guy's 16th birthday. As he read the journal, it became clear that the powers he wielded were not his own, but a reflection of the demonic forces that had once sought to rule the world. Guy's newfound knowledge came with a heavy burden. He felt the need to break the pact, to release the demonic powers that threatened to consume him. He confided in his closest friend, Alex, an intelligent and open-minded individual who listened to Guy's story without judgment. Alex encouraged him to seek out someone who could help him understand the ritual and break the curse. Together, they scoured the city for clues, delving into the underground societies where the occult was practiced and the supernatural was wielded. It was during one of their meetings with a mysterious old woman known only as Madame Zola that they found the key to unlocking the secrets of the pact. She spoke of an ancient tome, hidden deep within the catacombs beneath the city, that contained the knowledge to perform the ritual. She warned them of the dangers of meddling with such forces, but Guy was determined. He needed to know the truth about his powers, and he would do anything to break free from their hold. With Alex's help, they ventured into the dimly lit catacombs, the air heavy with the scent of damp earth and the weight of history. Their search led them to a crypt, a chamber sealed with an ancient rune that sparked to life as they approached. Inside, they found the tome, a book bound in leather and filled with glyphs that seemed to dance before their eyes. It was a guide to the ritual, and as they read, they realized that it was not just a matter of breaking the pact, but also understanding the true nature of the powers they held. Guy felt a connection to the book, as if it was calling out to him, whispering the secrets of his ancestors. He knew that to break the curse, he would have to walk a path that would test his resolve and his very soul. 1. The city of New Haven was a place hidden in the shadows, where the ordinary people lived their everyday lives, unaware of the extraordinary that lurked beneath the surface. Among them was a young man named Guy, who had always felt out of place, as if there was something beyond the mundane that... Page 2, 3. Page 2.